watching Superskum.com. I'm Carlos Reale. I'm here with Mark and Isaac from EPICA, and we're going to take a moment of their time to ask them a few questions, bug you around. Thank you, gentlemen, for giving us a little bit of your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate being here. First, you're back in the U.S., fourth time around in North America. So
sixth time.
It's the sixth time already. Wow, it's the whole tour?
6 whole tours. Yeah.
6 whole tours.
Yeah, that's the sixth.
So we got our first wrong one of the day. But you're back basically touring with Hailstorm and Insomnium. You're almost at midpoint in the tour, so we just wanted to get your basic reactions to the tour so far, the fans, the new material that you're playing from the new album as well, the fan reaction to that. So
it's been pretty good, actually. We're very happy with the outcome of the tour so far. It's been beyond expectations, so that's good. And the fans seem to love all the new songs as well, and pretty crazy every day. And the package seems very good with Hailstorm, Insomnium, System Divide. So it seems like there's something for everyone. And if you talk to people after a concert, they're always like really happy to have like found new bands, or so that's really good. And we're very happy about it.
And, what can fans expect from the set list for this tour from EPICA?
You tell them.
From every album, some songs. That's why we want to make it as diverse as possible. Because if you do too many songs from one specific album, then some people start complaining, hey, I want to hear songs from this album. So if you put songs from every album, then in general, most people are happy.
You try.
Yeah, we try to our best to make everybody happy, and so far we've succeeded, because I got many reactions after shows like, "Oh, this set list was perfect. All my songs that I want to hear were in there." So yeah.
But we've had some time to practice, so we've been touring for almost the whole year. So
yeah.
Your newest release, Requiem for the Indifferent, was produced once again by Sasha, who produced all your albums this far in your catalog. So how was working with Sasha again at the Gate Studios in Germany? Basically, what was the vibe recording this album? And can you tell us give us a little bit of the background of the album and the theme from the album? Because I know you deal with a lot of social issues and you want to bring a lot of different issues to the forefront, at least lyrically, and a different message. So
that's quite some questions in one. So to start with, the work with Sasha again, it was for us a quite obvious choice. He's been there since the beginning. He's been very important for EPICA. He's also the guy who keeps the overview, because when we have been working on songs for like 2 years, there's always comes a moment to let them go, and he is the guy who can say exactly which parts are good and which parts are not good, or which songs are the best songs and which the weaker links. And you need a guy like that who is fresh, who listens with fresh ears to the music, and he also has a really great ear in vocal lines. So we always work with him also on vocal lines. He knows exactly what are the strongest points, what we have already, what has to be worked on, and together with him we work then on the vocal lines to bring them to a higher level. And that's a mutual way of working that we like a lot. So it's a saying, never change a winning team, and so far that's always been for us. And the album itself, Requiem for the Indifferent, it's dealing about people who are indifferent towards the problems that we're facing nowadays. Everybody sees that we are doing a lot of things wrong, but it's hard to change it, because habits are really hard to change. Addictions are even harder to change. And for example, oil, we depend so much on oil. While we know oil is really bad for the environment, there are many other ways to keep economies going than cars, than oil. But to make this transition, it takes a lot of efforts, and it seems like the indifferent, that's the small group of people who are in control nowadays, are not willing to make that change. And you recently had elections, and Mitt Romney is more like the old-fashioned guy. You keep on going the way we are, keep the economy running. But you cannot always keep growing, because sooner or later then it's going to explode anyway. because it's not possible to have a constant economic growth. It stops somewhere sooner or later, because it's also with economies like China and Brazil coming up. There's not enough natural resources to. It's a dream that it would be possible to make it work. So to find alternative ways to make it work, that's what we should do. And so Requiem for the Indifferent is written for those who keep on going on the dead end road that we are on now, and bury their head in the sand and not willing to make this change. That's what it's all about, in short.
Changing the topic a little bit, but still within the new album, you had this unique opportunity to release this new video called Forevermore.
Yeah.
Right? And it is, and I am sorry if I don't say his name correctly, but it is with Ruud Woltring, sorry?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. Excuse my
That's
pronunciation.
That's correct.
Okay, so, and it's fascinating because this is a video that you did for a Dutch TV show, correct?
That's right.
And it is about mentally disabled people getting their wishes granted. And his wish was to actually sing with EPICA. So he wrote a song, and you actually adapted it to your the EPICA style, basically, and you recorded the video with him, which is a wonderful video, by the way. I watched it many times. Cool. I really, really enjoyed it. But can you tell us more about what that idea came from? It's an excellent, pretty much help, of course, an excellent part of activism from the band. So can you tell us a little bit more behind the idea of how that came about, how that happened, basically?
Well, it happened because he wanted to have his dream being realized. So if he wouldn't have had the dream, or there was a show, so I think his mom sent in his dream or something, or a family member. And so, yeah, they contacted us, and we were pretty much from the start pretty enthusiastic about it. Because, EPICA has always been doing some stuff out of the box, maybe, so for charity and also this seemed like a very good opportunity to do something for one of our fans. And so it was a very cool fan. A super fan. He was really in the studio singing everything, playing everything. And he's really, really into EPICA. And so it was a very cool experience also to see how he basically handles all that, because, you don't really know what to expect, or if we gonna change his song or adapt it, will he like it, or you don't want to piss him off, so to say, or that he's like kind of freaking out, I don't know, but he was all cool about it. And it was it was a pretty awesome 2 days in the studio, and went pretty smooth. And also actually the film crew, the people from the television, they also were like, this is actually pretty cool to see how it all grows into one song. And so it was a cool experience.
So now going a little bit back to the history of the band, and this is a question that I don't know if you heard it before, but you have. You guys used to be called Sahara Dust back in 2002, but then you changed the name to EPICA, right? Yeah. And as far as we can tell, it's an homage to Camelot's album EPICA. So how did that happen? Why did that happen? I know you're really good friends and tour with them, but...
Yeah, the thing was, we were called Sahara Dust indeed, but that was with a totally different lineup. Mm-hmm. Our former drummer and singer, they left together to live in Norway. And when we had Simone singing and a new drummer, we felt like it wasn't the same band anymore. We didn't feel comfortable with the name Sahara Dust any longer. And we were already in the studio recording our first album, and we still didn't have a new name. Also, our record company, they also didn't like the name Sahara Dust at all. So that was another reason to change it. If we would have really liked it ourselves, we would have said, no, come on, we keep it, don't touch it. But we were already not happy ourselves with it any longer. And right before us, Camelot recorded their album called EPICA. We were in the studio recording, and I saw this CD cover there, and I thought, EPICA, that's a great name for a band, actually. And that's how things happened. In the beginning, I heard the guys from Camelot were not pleased. But later on, it turned into that they were honored that we took that name for our band.
That's good to hear that, they and a good friendship developed, of course. You guys are pretty close. Last question real quick, because I know we've taken a lot of your time, but this specifically is about Mayan, the project, of course. You started the project, you're in there as well. Basically, you have the debut album as well. It was at Quarter Past, The Nuclear Blast. And I wanted to ask you, how far does your fascination with the Mayan civilization go?
I was there this year for 1 month in south of Mexico and Guatemala to visit.
That was my next question. Have you visited Central America?
But you said it was already the last question, so
You're cheating.
That's the last question inside the last question.
That's how you work it. Then after 10 questions.
They're long, man.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is my fascination for the Mayan culture. It started how long ago already? Like 10 years ago, and when I got a book from my mother, and she said, "I don't know why, but I should give this book to you. I have this feeling." I started reading it, and I got really into it. And from there on, I read many books. I started watching documentaries. And I made this travel, and also before already, every time we had a chance, when we were in Mexico or Guatemala and we had a day off, I would go to see some Mayan ruins, and temples. But I always had the feeling I should see all of them, or basically as many as possible. So when I finally had the chance to take some time off, I went there and made this travel. I rented a car, and I drove around and stayed everywhere as long as I wanted. So when I felt like staying at one side for like 4 hours, I stayed there 4 hours. And that was really a sort of freedom that I almost never felt in my life before. Because when you're on tour, you're always in a rush in a way, and you always have to live according to a schedule. And there was no schedule. I was just acting on intuition. And that's exactly, I think, what's the strength of the human being. When you can live by your intuition, then you get most close to the core.
And even this fascination permeated to Consigned to Oblivion for EPICA, basically. It's heavily Mayan related. I'm glad you were able to see all the temples and the ruins as well. Yeah. Now, what's your belief about the prophecy? Is the world going to end in December or not?
Yeah, that's what people say. People say that the Maya predicted that the world is going to end, but they didn't. It's just their calendar ends, but they didn't write down or anything like the world is going to end. It's just an interpretation of human beings nowadays. Same with all religions. It's all based on interpretations, and you can some things you can interpret like this way, but also totally opposite way. And I personally think that we are on the edge of a new beginning, and so that doesn't mean that the world's going to end. I'm even pretty sure the world is not going to end for a long time. Maybe the human race will. Will end someday. Because we are in a way already really trying hard to kill ourselves. Yeah, okay. And. But I think just that this money system we have nowadays, that's based on nothing anymore. In the past, it was based on gold. It was something. It had value. Now it's just air. It's just that we believe in it, and that's why it still works. But as soon as we don't believe in it anymore, this whole system collapses. And if that would happen, then there's chaos. And if there's chaos, then everything can happen. And so that might happen, or some scientists say that there's a chance that a pole shift will happen, which happens like every couple of thousand years anyway. That suddenly we wake up and we are in a totally different climate than before, and that would also, of course, turn everything around and maybe wipe out a lot of life. But it's a big mystery also for me, and but I'm also curious in a way. I'm really looking forward
to wake up and snow.
We'll find out pretty soon who's right and who wasn't. Just one last question related to Mayan. What made you give up guitars for this side project?
Yeah, first of all, I was always curious how it would be to just be the singer, because it's always fun to play guitar, but to keep the crowd going, the guitar is also limiting you. You cannot do whatever you want. And when you have no guitar and just a microphone, you can run around the stage whatever you want. And the other reason is this, in my end, the technical aspect is really high musicianship. If I would have to play that and sing, I would still be practicing now today.
Pretty complex. So.
Yeah.
Basically, we always like to end our interviews giving you guys a chance to look into the camera and say any last word to your fans that you want to convey. It's your time.
Just,
Keep coming.
No, nothing is coming anymore.
those are my last words, and I like them.
Mine too.
So
Just keep rocking.
The fans just keep coming and keep rocking. So great, man. Mark, thank you so much. We really appreciate bugging you with a few questions. Thank you for your time, and greatly appreciate it, man.